guys hear Aliel's little tappy toes? Where you want to go? You're so excited. You have dinner in there, so why don't you have some dinner? Look. There's dinner. See? Yeah, there you go. Nummy, nummy. Dinner time. Well, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and get started, and we'll just have people. Oh, here comes Andy. Hi, Andy. Wasn't sure if anybody wanted to. How you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Just got off another intake call, so having fun.
Awesome. Good. Oh, hi, Jamie. There's Jamie, too. You hear her tapping? Hi, Kate. Is it cute, huh? Yeah. Oh, she does not want to be in there. You don't even want dinner? Okay. I'll let you fly around wherever you want then. You big girl? You big girl, you can do what you want. Hi, Jamie. So, yeah. You hear a little toe tapping. She's so fun. Oh, hi, Lori. Lori's here, too. So we're going to get started here real quick, but I just going to go ahead and say hi in case. Oh, and here comes Carson back. So Carson's going to take over a little before the hour, and you guys can have discussion, and she will lead you through a hypno journey yeah, it's going to be great. Everybody's dressed like Aliel. Kate's dressed like Aliel. Carson's dressed like Aliel. Do you see her? She just likes to play with everything. She's like checking out my nose, checking out my eyelashes. Ollie, you're the cutest little girl. Okay, you can sit there. You can sit there. Anyway, how are you guys doing? What's going on? Oh, hi, Lori. Lori's really dressed like Aliel with pink and blue. Nice to see you all. Okay, we're going to have a great class tonight, but I want to see, does anybody have anything they wanted to chat about before we get started? Good. While I'm here? Not really?
I have a little story.
Oh, I would love to hear a little story.
Okay.
Or a big story.
Okay. Well, so last night I dreamt, it was pretty vivid. I was dreaming that I was dancing on my toes like a ballerina, and I had the thought, this is a dream. I can't do that. And then
you became lucid, yeah.
I became lucid, and I was like, oh, I stopped what I was doing, and I was like, I'm going to astral project. And so I focused in on that feeling of sitting up from out of my physical body, and my surroundings shifted. It was like then I was in one part of the house, and then suddenly I was seeing like my bedroom ceiling and the walls, but it was like pieces, almost like fractals or like double vision, because it was like either I was spinning or the room was spinning.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of overwhelmed with what I was seeing and feeling. And I remember at one point I reached up, I think with my physical hand, to see if my head was still on my bed, like on my pillow.
Yeah.
And it was really quick. It was really fast. I felt like I was back in my body pretty quickly. Like I was up in the air and then I fell back down or something. And I could feel the vibrating in my body.
Yeah.
And I had the thought, I have to remember this and tell Tricia and everybody in class. And then I was back asleep.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember like actually waking up or anything, but it was just so interesting.
Yeah. And exhilarating or something, right? Intense. I don't know. There's a lot of different.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, of course, I always question, like, was that really an astral projection? But it felt so different.
Yeah. Sounds very much like it. And so that's so rad. And it's good that you're telling, and you're like, so you can next time, like if you kind of tell your conscious mind to give over to your subconscious mind, that the next time you do that, which was great because you're like, I'm lucid, now I'm going to astral project, and now then the next step is choose a place to go.
Right.
So imagine where you'd like to go, and you just start, phase into it, like just meditate and create the phase of where you want to be, and imagine being there and really inspecting it, and do that, as a practice, and then the next time you'll do step 3. Well, and here's the thing too, is You probably went back in your body because, like you said, because you used your body. Like you're like, is my head? And so that's what snapped you into your body. Yeah.
That could have been it. Yeah.
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 That's so cool. I love it.
It
Super
was just
fun.
so weird because I was telling a friend, just talking on the phone, I was like, I've really gotten out of practice of any of the astral projection stuff. I really need to get back to it. And so just I think talking about it,
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
was like, I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And you're just like, and just talking about it is like creating the phase of it. You know, it same thing. You're feeling it emotionally, and that visceral feeling of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to share before we start our lesson? I'm hearing a weird staticky thing. Is that me only? Is that y'all hear it too? I'm gonna mute you, Andy, and Lori, and see if it's mine or test. Okay, maybe it's not me then. Good. Maybe one of you guys, and that's fine. All right, so here we go, and thanks for the story, Jamie. Are you gonna sit right there? All right then. Hi. Go in there for just a little bit. Thank you, baby. Welcome to class and settling into today's lesson. We are actually going to begin with a little exercise, an invocation, a setting of the space with an invocation / induction. And so I invite you to settle in where you are and just feel that solid support beneath you. And of course, if you are listening while you're driving or needing to have your full conscious awareness, then do not close your eyes and do not become induced into this state, and even perhaps listen later, especially if you're driving. If you are in the place where you can move into this experience, then I invite you to. And so, just settling in now, and feel that solid support beneath you. And when you're ready, you can take 3 slow and easy breaths, just really enjoying the feeling of breathing. And if they haven't yet, you can allow your eyes to close on one of the breaths or whenever you're ready. And simply with your intention, you can invite and allow that sense of shifting to the inner space. And so it is at this time that I welcome you. Welcome to your sacred practice. And bringing your awareness now to your seat and your feet and toes. And using your imaginal senses, visualize, sense, imagine that there are roots like the roots of a plant or a tree that extend from your feet and your seat. As you grow these into the earth, remember that they are flexible, they are energy roots. These roots are here to serve you in all ways. And perhaps these roots are composed of light. I'll let you decide. And whether in a swift motion or with that gentle kind of pace, allow these roots, or perhaps one grand root, to drop all the way down into the center of the earth, into the crystal core of the earth, anchoring in here. anchoring in to the center of the earth. And as you're anchoring into the earth, you can also imagine or invite the earth to send you her gentle vibration of support, of sustenance, and that connection that may even feel like love or some kind of resonance. As if you are drinking up this energy. And I wonder if it's something like the water of life, vital life force energy. I'll let you decide. And draw this energy up from the roots into your toes and feet and into that grand root or the roots that are extended from your seat, and just pull it up or gently notice that it would like to become one with your energy. And this is energy of support. This is energy of nourishment. And just trace it up your physical body and your whole energy field. And as you do, you can invite and allow yourself to become more soothed and comforted and relaxed. As you are becoming more grounded, becoming more connected to the here and now. Draw it all the way up through the midsection and up and over the shoulders and down the arms, up around the neck, all through the head and even up and out the top of head. And you might want to take a nice gentle breath to draw it up even more, to charge it up. It's a positive receipt of support. Noticing that you can allow yourself to become more settled, more gentle, softer, as you create the state of support. Now I invite you to imagine, visualize, or sense that from the top of the universe is pouring down in a beautiful array of pure, potent light. Maybe it's white, maybe it's diamond, sparkly, maybe it's golden. Sometimes it seems like it's light or it's liquid light. Coming down in a sort of column because it knows exactly where you are. And can you imagine that it does know exactly where you are? And if you would like, you can create a column or maybe a funnel that you invite this light from above to come in and begin to fill your energy field from the top of your head. And this is another kind of vital, supportive life force. And as you draw this in, it may be mixing with that which you pulled up from the earth. And as if you're scanning your body to receive it and to allow that gentle presence. And let it infill you completely. Allow this to circulate around through this whole time that we're in this exercise, and for as long as you choose. You can simply give it permission to continue its circulation. renewing, revitalizing, restoring, replenishing. And now I invite you to bring your awareness to your heart, right in the center of your being. Your heart, your faithful heart, powerful in its energetic capacity, its availability to receive and create love. A powerful center that is like your personal oracle as it guides you in your life. And in this center here, as you're allowing yourself to really expand and amplify that sense of your loving heart, your healing heart, imagine, sense, or visualize that there is a flower right there in the center of your heart space. Or perhaps it is that your heart is like a flower that can open to the sun. Now we have that ray of pure light coming from the top of the universe, so I wonder if it seems now like a ray of sunlight that is shining down upon this flower, the flower that is your heart center. And as if you can sense or welcome or visualize this flower opening up to that ray of sunlight. And this ray is bathing and warming your heart all throughout, within and all around. And you know how you've seen a flower that is seemingly so excited to receive that sunlight that it's like the petals almost curl over. It's a kind of passion to receive that light. And there's one more thing to note. This ray of light is falling upon your heart. When a ray of sunlight falls upon a flower, that ray is falling upon that flower, and that flower alone. And so this universal awareness falls upon you and activates your heart. You and you alone. For you do complete the universe. And so we now move into a space to receive even more. And what is certain is only that which is good, positive, and true for you will be received, remembered, and awakened. And the ingredient of the essence of your heart makes it all so. And if you would like to affirm in your heart now that you are open to receive, I invite you to do that now. Yes, I am open to receive. And so it is with this that we call this space open and available, attuned through and with your heart. And so now it is time to receive. And you can open your eyes gently and stay in that just right state for the receiving of the experience ahead. In this class, we are going to explore the anatomy of a session through the lens of hypnosis and through that sense of the quantum resonance that we are creating all throughout the modalities that we're exploring here. Now, we're going to look at the anatomy of a hypnotic session, which will also see parallels, a session of healing, a session of reading, and any other kind of facility where you're actually working with the energy and through the energy of a client. We're also going to focus in on one area, which is the induction, and also how that induction can be an invocation. And so this is how we started this class, with something that is both an induction and an invocation. And so I'll break it all down for you moving forward now. So let's first explain why this is through the lens of hypnosis. And that is because sometimes people think of, well, the reason I want to explain it is because sometimes people think that hypnosis, well, they might think it's like stage hypnosis, where you've seemingly lost your will and, squawking like a chicken. Other times people may think that hypnosis is something that is structured so that, you do a certain kind of induction and then you put in the suggestions and then you wake them up in a certain way. And that is a form of hypnosis. In fact, that's more of a clinical hypnotherapy model. Now, the thing about hypnosis as a big, broad category under which many things fall, that's what we're talking about here, as I say, through the lens of hypnosis. When you're giving an intuitive reading, you actually move in and out, potentially, or surf different waves of hypnosis. And ideally, you actually help your client to become induced to some sort of state where they can receive the information in a full way. So hypnosis is basically any time that we are not in our logic, reasoning, analysis, decision-making, and that sense of willpower. It is akin to the brainwave state that we call beta, and it's this alert state. Then we have other states that are associated with, the brainwave states. We have alpha, which is associated with daydreaming. We have theta, which is more of a deeper trance state. Delta, which is usually what we are experiencing in deep, deep sleep. And then there's also another kind of brainwave state called gamma. Now, everything except for the beta, which is that conscious state, everything else is shifted into some kind of altered state of hypnosis. So when we meditate, we're in hypnosis. When we are giving our readings, we're in hypnosis. Anytime that we're able to really feel something into our essence, that is a form of hypnosis. So when you're feeling a lot of emotions, that's a kind of hypnosis. When there's also negative states of hypnosis, like fight, flight. If you aren't literally fighting a lion or fleeing for your life, then other times that we're in fight, flight is a kind of hypnosis. Not one that we prefer, but it is hypnosis because it isn't logical, right? To be in fight, flight when we're not literally fighting and fleeing for our life. We can just see that there's a little break in logic there. So here's a metaphor of hypnosis. If you imagine that you're going to go to my house, and my house is 301 North Lima Street, and it's Brian and Tricia's house. So then when you show up at my doorstep, you open the door and then you walk into the house. Well, this house that we're calling 301 North Lima is hypnosis. That's the address that you're in. You've walked into the house now. Now there's the living room, and maybe the living room is something that is like meditation. Meditation is happening within this house. Maybe you go into another room and you're doing yoga, or some other kind of somatic body movement that is shifting you into a peaceful state, or Tai Chi or Qigong. And maybe that's happening in the gym or the dojo space of the hypnosis house. And then you go over into this other room and we've got clinical hypnosis going on. We're really getting in there and we're doing some counseling so that we can derive those actual suggestions that we'll be able to put and how to actually speak with the subconscious mind, what the language of that client is. And then we're able to go past the critical mind and then put them in the way that will help them to be secured in the subconscious mind. Many different things can happen in this house that is called hypnosis. Maybe in the bedroom there's yoga nidra happening, really deep states. All of this is some form of hypnosis because we've crossed the threshold, and that threshold is the critical mind. So once we've gone inside the house of hypnosis, there are many different things that are happening. Oh, I forgot to mention that somewhere else there's maybe another room where there is an intuitive reading going on. Maybe there's a healing happening, right? So it's really helpful to broaden it that way because we can see how we can facilitate our clients in the many different modalities that we will by understanding that we are actually using hypnosis. So let's talk about the breakdown of hypnosis, just how it happens. And I'm going to keep it real simple. Hypnosis is an induction, meaning we're shifting into a different state. So as I said, fight flight is a state, or just high emotions. So sometimes your client might come to you and they're really stressed out. They're in a state of hypnosis. So how do we break that state? Because we want them to get into a state where they can actually receive something new. Because sometimes when we're in fight flight, we're actually fighting and fleeing from new things. We might be fighting and fleeing from messages from our higher self, right? So we need to break that state. And the way you break a state, and this is a good tip for you in your life too, if you're in fight flight and you notice, I'm in fight flight because I feel anxious and I feel like I'm worried about something. The way you break a state is you actually go deeper than that state. So then what we would do to our clients if they show up in some kind of a state, worry, stress, anxiety, aka fight flight, we're going to induce them. Now, to induce someone into a state of hypnosis, we have two ways that we can go about it. We actually, what we're saying, the critical mind, we want to bypass the critical mind so we can get deeper into the subconscious mind. And we either highly organize the critical mind or we disorganize it. So what that means is they either become really, really, really relaxed or they get a little more stressed out until they have to relax. We are never quite sure what's happening there. You can relate to this as meditators yourself. Sometimes you start to meditate and you're like, okay, I want to meditate. Oh my gosh, why can't I meditate right? I'm not meditating right today. Am I going to be able to meditate today? Oh, I'm getting so annoyed at myself. Goosh, next thing you know, you're in a nice, comfortable state and you didn't even notice when it happened, right? And sometimes you relax into it very like you're just easing into a bathtub. So it might be a combination of that. The process can be the same, though, is that you offer a state of soothing and relaxation to your client. Because the fight-flight state that might be going, I can't relax because I have this problem, the more that you just keep suggesting that in different ways, in different layers, while they're fighting it, they're actually creating more stress to that critical mind. And then if they don't leave the room, then at some point they're going to actually induce. And certainly as you're offering that, you're letting them know that this is a pleasant thing. This is a good thing for you. So the induction that we started with today, I was starting with that grounding. So grounding is a great way to help someone to break the state of fight, flight, or just to come into a different, deeper state, no matter how they're showing up. Grounding, so imagery of grounding, like the roots of a tree, or just feeling gravity, feeling their feet, that all of those grounding where you're actually connecting with gravity and the earth, that is a good way to actually create an induced state. Also relaxing the body. So you might do some kind of a body scan or a flow of energy through the body, and that's what we did in today's induction. And I also made sure to suggest a few times that as we're receiving this energy, I was doing flows of energy from toe to head and head to toe. I suggested that the energy that you were receiving was very supportive in two different inputs of the earth and from the universe. And also suggested several times that it was calming, soothing, and it was relaxing. Now, here's the other thing that's going on there is as channels, as we all are, I'm actually channeling that energy. So some of it I'm actually just being aware of myself and presenting in my energy. And again, as long as someone is staying and listening, that's coming through all of the different ways that my voice is being utilized because I'm channeling it in the cadence, in the pacing, in the selection of words, because that wasn't something I had written. I was actually channeling it or improvising it in the moment. And I'm staying attuned to the client or group, whomever I'm working with. So that is going to be flowing as I'm imagining that I'm harnessing calming energy and offering it. I'm actually creating a different brainwave state for myself. And in the interest of receiving the service, your client will also create these kind of tunnels or chords and receive that suggestion of the calmer and more soothed brainwave states. So that is the first part of a hypnotic session, is the induction. And there are many different forms of induction that you can use. I mean, like many different kinds. And at some point, I'm going to give you many different suggestions, like even scripts of them. But for this time, we're going to look at the anatomy of hypnosis, and then we're going to look at how to induce someone with an invocation of sorts. So hypnosis, phase 1 is induction. Now, phase 2 is something that is creating a positive shift in energy. So if we were doing clinical hypnosis, we might actually, this will be the time that we're actually doing suggestions. Now, a part of suggestions could be imagery that you're creating. And that means that you're guiding them through some kind of, maybe you're walking them along a path or they're seeing a flower. In our induction, I did imagery of roots of a tree, that column of light from the universe, and also the flower opening to the sun. That was some imagery. You can do imagery that's more immersive, that is walking downstairs, moving through a garden. It's endless, looking up at the sky and watching the clouds. You all have done many meditations. Meditations often are using imagery, a lot of imagery in meditation. So whether we're doing a clinical hypnotherapy session or meditation, there is often the use of some kind of imagery. And once again, back to hypnotherapy, you would be dropping in suggestions. Now, if we're doing the induction and this kind of frame of hypnosis for an energy healing or intuitive reading session, you would do the induction, and then you bring your client to, with their eyes open or however it is you would like for them to receive it, suggest to them they stay in the just right state for it, because we don't want them to pop into their fighting and fleeing again. And even if they get a little, they're having some emotional content come up. So then you, as you come out of the induction, or not really coming out of the induction, we're just segueing to the next part, then you are receiving the intuitive information, whether it's through mediumship or whatever kind of ways that you're receiving the messages, and you're delivering it to them in this container. We're still in hypnosis. Now, you as the facilitator in an intuitive reading or healing session, there's a tendency, because you are having dialogue with your client a little bit, you might be surfing deeper and lighter states of hypnosis. Because as you're going to deliver the information to your client, you might come up to an alpha and you say, your mother is here and she is saying this. And then the client says, oh my goodness, that's amazing. And I want to know this. And then you go, okay, hold on. And we do this, you're intuitively already doing this. If you aren't aware, you're surfing different states of depth when you're giving intuitive readings. Or, when we see intuitives do that, we go, okay, hold on. You go a little bit deeper there. You are an expert surfer, riding different waves of depth. So that portion of it is, in the intuitive reading, is when both the client and you as the facilitator are able to surf, and you are keeping the client, as they're feeling more and more positive messages coming through and they're receiving them, or if it's a healing session, then as they feel it, they're going to go into even deeper states, maybe not to where they go into, their eyes are closed kind of trance, or maybe they will, especially if it's healing, because sometimes we have our clients close their eyes in a healing session. and there's emotions that are being expressed, and that's feeling, and so that somatic and emotional state is a form of hypnosis. So there you go. We have the body of it. We have the induction, the body of the hypnotic purpose, where we're working with the subconscious and maybe channeling the soul energy or the higher mind, higher self. For hypnotherapists, we're putting in suggestions. For meditators and hypnotherapists, we're creating imagery, which is positive to help to create an experience to receive some positive energies. And then simply after that, it is to wake up the client, to seal the session. Because it's important that we actually bring our clients to a conscious state so that they don't stay open and vulnerable, suggestible, when we want that work to actually be sealed and kept in the subconscious mind. So basically, in hypnotherapy, when you all hear me, either you've worked with me one-on-one or you've been in a group journey where I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, and alert. With meditation, you might lead them out gently, and with an intuitive session, you can start to do other things that actually bring them to a different state to kind of seal that work. And that could be just conversation. You shift the conversation to something light, maybe humorous or lighthearted. You might change your tone. As you can see, my tone has moved into a different kind of, different offerings of how I'm presenting my tone in a softer or more hypnotic tone throughout this lesson. And that's intentional because I wanted to keep you in that open and receiving state for the lesson. So we're doing this lesson under a sort of state of hypnosis. If I wanted to bring you out, then I would say, oh, that's really great. Oh, really, really good work. Wow, that was really fun. See how I'm changing it to a brighter tone? And that might have been you guys like, whoa, I don't know. So you can shift to a brighter tone. You can also, there is like in a ceremonial magic, there is a tendency to end a ritual or a spell by clapping your hands. So you can get them to move their body around. All of that is actually bringing them to a different state, more of that beta conscious state, so that we can seal it in. And so, yeah, many different things you can use to actually seal the work. So just as a recap, we have the induction. We have the body of the session, which is somehow tending to their energy with intuitive reading, suggestions, imagery, energy healing, and then wake up, sealing the work. So I want to share with you a story about why it's important to seal the work. And that is because as we've talked about in other lessons, we would really like to be conscious, intentional somnambulists, meaning that we can become suggestible when we like, and we can become suggestible to what we like. And so that means we don't have a problem shifting our state. Come here, little girl. I'm grabbing my bird. You want to sit there? We are able to move in and out, and especially, as we're saying, to be facilitating this way. And when we're guiding meditation or hypnosis, we are also shifting into different states. We might take a moment to really deepen their state of our group or our client by deepening our own state and pulling through that imagery or those suggestions that are just right, basically channeling from the higher self or the higher collective, if it's a group. And so it's really important to wake them up. Now, when I'm doing meditations, group meditations, sometimes I say, if you would like to continue to meditate, you can creep off and continue your meditation. And then I say, but if you are going to move about to do something else, then, and then I have a little chat afterward if I'm doing a group meditation. So that and now if I'm like somewhere else and I know they're going to get in their car, then I definitely wake them up. And I have a chat and I say, let's move the body around, So a story to illustrate how that is important. When I first started doing readings, I at first didn't realize that I had to do that. And a lot of people are taught, if they're taught intuitive readings, they're taught to close the portal or close the session. And maybe I hadn't quite gotten that message yet. And so I was practicing in a development circle, and I drove away, and I can remember it clearly, I was still very open and suggestible. And something came on the radio, just some song, and suddenly I got really like this awful feeling of fear. And I noticed, oh my gosh, this song is like some kind of dark song. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that just crept in. Now, some people might say, like, oh, an entity came in on that. And yeah, maybe that's something that happened too, but it's very easy to excuse an entity. So I pulled my car over, and I kind of knew about closing the session, but I just didn't have a habit of it. So I pulled my car over, and I had a wand of selenite, and I got out and I cut all the cords, and I just swished my selenite all around, and I just like lit a light inside my heart, and just cleared out my field. And then I felt great. And I realized how important it was. So it is very important to seal that work or wake up your client at the end of a session. So that is our anatomy of hypnosis. And now we're going to zone in a little bit more on the induction, or AKA invocation, and how we're going to look at it. In the lesson where I was talking about the hypnosis house, where you cross the threshold, which is the critical mind, and now you're in the house of hypnosis, and you have, yoga nidra going on in the bedroom, clinical hypnosis going on in the kitchen. I know I'm choosing different rooms this time, meditation happening in the living room. I forgot to mention prayer. Prayer is also a hypnotic state. If you're a Neville Goddard fan or reader, then, Neville talks about the ways that we can affect our subconscious mind is, as we're going to sleep, talking about the state akin to sleep, which is hypnosis. As we are going into and out of sleep, it's hypnosis. And to use that state to give yourself to deliver a positive impression on your subconscious mind. And he says, or prayer. And so prayer is basically inducing yourself into this state and delivering positive suggestions. Effective prayer isn't like, please help me, I don't know how to pay my mortgage and it's terrible. It's praying for the bad thing to happen. It's holding a state of your fear. Sometimes we have to move through the fear to get to the positive. But please, if you pray, have the goal to get to the positive suggestions for yourself. So an invocation is like a prayer, and it is an induction. It is inducing you into the state, it's inducing your client into the state, and it's actually creating a space, like the whole space of this container that you're working in has now been induced into a state. So you can think of it as a prayer that is offering many different ways to help your client to move in. So think of it as a prayer, sure. An invocation, perhaps in the sense that you are inviting certain guides or certain kinds of energy to come in, and you are also inducing them. So for an induction, we want to remember that induction works by some of the best things to focus on is grounding, meaning bringing them present, and even connecting with the earth in some form or another, connecting with their body. Relaxation, calming and soothing and relaxing the body. And also to begin to create some kind of positive suggestion even in that time. So as you're opening up the prayer, I like to, or opening up the induction, I tend to have a key phrase that will help us to really recognize we've now crossed that threshold. So you all hear me give your meditations in your group hypnosis. And I have a key phrase that I use for groups where I say, welcome to your sacred practice. Even if it's the first time you have had one of my meditations, you feel it, right? You're like, oh, it's happening. And when I'm in a session, I tend to say, we invite, invoke, and allow. I say different things that really, I can't remember right now because it is slightly different. I have to get into the state to do it. What do I say? Okay, I'm going to do it, Spirit. Thank you. We open this sacred space. That's what I say. Yeah, that's what I say when I'm in a one-on-one session. Wow, I'm so in hypnosis when I do my sessions, I actually forgot what I do. I had to go into hypnosis a little bit. So if you want to create some kind of a little key phrase, and it will be a key phrase for yourself too, that will help you to get really grounded in it. Now, you can write your own induction and let that be something that is like a framework that you often use or literally use. If you're a good reader, so that you could read something and still sound very natural, then great. Or if it's something that you write and script for yourself, read over and over until you really embody it, and then let it be something you move freely with. I'll leave that up to you. We all have different methods, different ways that we work, and some people don't work the same way every time. So, you might be one of those people. All right, so we have the sense of wanting to have something that is signaling that it's time to start the process, some kind of a key phrase. We have some form of grounding. We have some form of creating calm, soothing, and relaxation, particularly to the body. Now, I like to also bring something in for the purposes of our work, something that brings us to the heart, because the heart is the center for healing, is the center for love and direction. And that is, of course, our clients are coming for all of those things, no matter what modality we're using. So you can connect them with their heart. And in this process, we are, especially when we get to, I would say when we get to the heart, we're definitely creating a frequency shift. Now, you want to also give them some kind of visualization, but you can tell people to visualize or imagine, because some people are more of a sensing, and some people are confused about what visualization is. They think that it means that you're seeing things in the room, and so, but give them options there. That's just, you hear me say that all the time. That's just a suggestion. Or you can even just tell them just that they can just listen to it as if it's a story that you're telling them. And then, so in that, we're creating that frequency shift to something a bit deeper. You might bring in certain energies, whether it is like I was bringing in our invocation induction that I did. We're bringing up earth energies, universal energies. You might call in angels, ancestors, guides. You may even just call them that way. We welcome guides of light, angels, ancestors, guides, past loved ones, animals, nature spirits. Just make a list of them, and your client might be able to then just feel them or just imagine that they're there, get deep in their state, because they're like, oh, this is happening. And it is happening, as you, of course, know. Deeper frequency shift there. And then I like to, at some point, especially if I'm going to be doing a reading or a healing where we're going to be having some dialogue, I like to suggest that they grant some kind of permission. So in our example, of the induction that I led earlier, I said, if you would like to just give permission, say, yes, I am open to receive within your heart. And just allow them to say then, and if you want them to say it out loud, you can do that. So then that is your simple way, then you just gently segue into the service. So this induction that I have given you as an example, kind of anatomy, an invocation, is one that is really kind of geared for the intuitive reading or healing service. So what I would suggest for you is to take this framework and allow yourself to just play with it, create new ones, practice with it, especially in our practice sessions or anytime you like. And just remember that if you're moving into the body of a service, we want to maintain the altered state. So as you, I'd say now this space is open, something like that is how I segue into the state. We want to keep our tone and our intention still very calm and soothed, and as opposed to saying, okay, let's go, you know what I mean? Like getting brighter in your tone. So just keep that grounded pace as you're moving into the work. So I have this in a PDF for you, and that you can find in the student portal. And so now, I guess I'll recap it. We have the relaxation as an invocation or induction, thinking of it as a prayer and an induction together, a grounding and relaxation, bringing them into their heart space at some point. We're creating some kind of visualization of any kind. and that all of these will be creating frequency shifts. We would like to maybe ask them for permission at some point, where we have them state that they give permission, or something like, I am open to receive. And we may invite certain kinds of energies or guides. And that actually can even just come through the visualization that you're guiding, if you're bringing in light or something. And then a gentle segue into service, as opposed to waking them up as we would if we were saying goodbye to them. We'll do that at the end of the service. So there you go. So have fun with it. Channel it, write it, do whatever you would like to begin to practice this, and just know that it is a really dynamic part of your session that it has great impact. All right, Carson, if you're here still, I'm going to head off. I don't know if you all want to take a break or if you want to head right into it, but I'm gonna head out. And thank you all. Have a great time. Practice whatever you like. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be a whole hour. If I happen to be done before an hour, then I'll pop back on. But I think I'm supposed to be on that for an hour. So cool. Do you see everybody? You can add them if you want to the stage. Okay, cool. All right then. I'm so scared to leave now. I'm afraid it's gonna screw up. I don't think it will. I'm gonna remove myself. Okay, I'm gonna screw up, and then Carson, if anything happens, yes.
Great.
So I'm gonna leave, but if anything happens, please text me immediately. Okay.
Okay, you got it. No, I'm not gonna text you during your podcast.
No, I mean like right now. Well, I've got 5 minutes to get on. I mean, I'll just cancel it or be late or something if for some reason something doesn't work. You know what I mean?
You've already taught. There's nothing
I know, but I'm afraid. I'm so scared.
No, you're fine.
I'm so paranoid that when I exit right now, it's gonna just crash. But I don't think it will. Okay.
Okay. If it crashes, I will let you know. Otherwise, no.
Fairy dust. Stop it. Stop it. I'm the worst example. I'm being scared. Okay. Bye. I love you guys. See you later.
Bye. Okay, who do I need to invite to studio? Kate is here. Jamie's here. Laura's here.
I'm
Oh, this is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna invite you all on to stage. We're gonna have a little chat about what we want in this hypnosis. It's kind of fun that we talked about it, because I can put grounding in, so you can feel a different example of it, deepening everything she talked about. But I want to base it. We can chat about what we just heard, but I also want to base it on what you guys want and need in terms of a meditation. So, Andy, I'll invite you to stage. Lori onto stage. Is that everybody? And you don't have to jump on if you don't want to, but Lisa, I invited you, I think. You don't have to come. Courtney, did I invite you? Okay. How's everyone? I wish I could. How do I change this? Okay, that looks crazy. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Okay, well, do people feel like they need a break before we do a meditation? Or it wouldn't be long, it'd be like 15 minutes. You guys already went, and it's going to be, I don't even have to do many deepeners because you guys already went under. But we can also chat about what you just heard or anything else before we do that. I just kind of want to open it up to what you guys are feeling or what you need or want. And we can also, just go straight into it, and you guys get off early tonight. So it's up to you. What are you feeling? You don't care?
I'm good to go.
Go right into it.
I took my break while you were figuring that out.
Cool. And what'd you say, Andy?
I'm in a lot of pain. I'd like to, get into it so I can maybe distract myself from it.
Okay.
So the meditation feels like a break for me. So
Great, Jamie. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm hearing pain, but anything else, like not anything else. Tell me what you want from this, because I don't have anything planned. It's going to be based on what you need. And that could be calling in something, that could be manifesting, that could be stepping into something, that could be something spiritual, could be something not, could be releasing, it could be just relaxing, like it could be a word. I'm going to make it for you guys. So tell me if you could have anything from this. What would you like?
Deep rest. Yeah.
Okay.
I just said I'm open to whatever you channel. I'm good.
Okay. Lori, what are you needing?
Yeah, just distraction from the pain. I had 2 cortisone shots in my knees today. And for 2 hours, I was like, oh my God, I don't need to use my cane anymore. I feel great. And now it's like, and I've done it before. I know it's going to get better. It's going to take a couple days. So I just have to be patient. And I'm not feeling patient right now. So I feel like a meditation would kind of help me kind of let go of the anxiety about the pain.
Okay. And patient for it working, like what they gave you?
Yeah.
It working eventually?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be 3 or 4 days before it really feels better. It has been hurting for months. It's not like this is new, but it is a little more acute than it usually is.
Okay. So any distraction from the pain, releasing pain, patience with it. Okay. Okay. And Andy, you have nothing that you want or need?
I have everything I want in life. Everything is great right now. My business is flowing. I signed a new client 5 minutes before I got on here. Everything is phenomenal. So I literally am happy for whatever you channel.
I love it. Okay.
That's amazing, Andy.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I love it.
Also, my business is a full-time hypnotherapy private practice. So I just love hypnosis, and that's what I'm doing all day anyway. So literally any hypnosis you do is great.
Great.
So I love getting to participate instead of being the one who does it. So
yeah, same. I'm always like, let's do it. I figured when I saw what you wrote earlier, I was like, oh, sounds like I'm a therapist. And Jamie, other than deep rest, you're just like needing deep rest? Is there a quality to the deep rest or the quality that you want to feel after the deep rest or anything? You don't have to give me anything else. I'm just curious. I want to give you more time.
I guess just peace.
Okay, Kate wrote that too.
Calm.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're good. All right. Everybody. Lisa, listening to the gym. Maybe don't listen to this if you're on like running treadmill or like an elliptical or something, or just make sure, you're paying attention to what's going on. Because you could listen from like a educational standpoint. But everyone can, I don't have to hit record, do I? No, everyone can just start to relax, release, let go, and just snuggle in to wherever you're sitting or laying. If you need to shift your body to get out any energy to move, if you need to get a blanket, if you need to get a pillow, this is your time to get comfortable. Just start by bringing breath into your lungs to signal to your body that it's time to go within. Calling in the breath of life. 3 deep and easy breaths, even starting in through your nose and out through your mouth, like you could pull in light. Light from your toes up to your crown, and light from the heavens above up through your body. There was a word that signified to you what deep rest was. It might just be peace. It might be release. It might be contentment. But allowing that word to become an energy with each and every breath that gets stronger and stronger, as if that energy was in front of you. Each breath creates more peace, more contentment, more rest. Almost as if this healing light had a quality of honey syrup, an elixir of vitality, of life, of healing. You breathed it into your body and it started to just reset your cells, to regenerate, to rejuvenate. And as you breathed out, the elixir got even more magical, even stronger. And just with your intention, I wonder if you can allow it to come closer to you, this energy in front of you of peace, whatever word you've given. And let the honey elixir now come over the crown of your head. And it just starts to just pour over you, full of healing power. What if this was the exact right recipe that you called in just for this specific moment? Going over your head now, over the crown of your head, into your forehead, releasing, relaxing all tension from every muscle that you've pulled together in worry and pain and whatever. It just lets it go. It relaxes it, releases it. It does it for you so you don't have to do anything, but you allow it to. You might even say, what if I help it go even deeper by just allowing? And it even goes into the cells of your brain to just release any thoughts of worry, tension, anxiety, pain. It just allows you to just float off. Your brain now gets to go on vacation. And it goes over your face, any other tension in your jaw, the muscles around your neck, around your shoulders. It's just dripping down, almost as if you start to drip down with the syrup. Goes now over your chest, over your back, down your arms, down your whole torso. Over your legs now. Your hips, your legs, your knees, your shins, your calves, down into your feet, pouring into the earth, connecting to the earth now. Surrendering everything, you're letting go to her, to Mother Earth, allowing her to support you fully, allowing yourself to ground in, to let go, to release, to relax. Let yourself be held. And any energy she wants to send you now to connect through your feet and back up again, she sends you. It's like you've had an entire winter of rest, and now you get to be spring after this meditation. You get to grow a new, fresh start. She gives you that energy, the magic that nature has. The quiet of nightfall into a new dawn. That is your power. And now Mother Earth takes you through to nature on any path that feels right, towards your magical deepener. This magical deepener is given to you by her, a gift. This might be an element of wind, of water, of earth. Whatever feels right to you, that feels like it can give you that extra level of just weightlessness, allowing you to even go deeper now, allowing to let go. So whether that is a man-made elevator of all the materials of earth that will sink you down deeper, whether that is air that lifts you up and sinks you deeper, and it just takes you like a cloud, like a feather, and you get to just be weightless. Or whether that is water that you get to just lay upon and float down a river, fully supporting you, like the Dead Sea, full of salt. There's nothing you have to do. It's like you're weightless. You're floating in a floating tank. Choosing the element now, entering the deepener. And you sit there and you feel the weightlessness. You feel yourself being lifted and drifted away. Lifted and drifted towards your inner self while change happens. At 20, it starts to just take you off and take you down. At 19, you're going even deeper, knowing that the gift of true peace, true contentment is on the other side. And the deeper you go, the lighter you feel. The lighter you feel pain, worry, tension, everything just being lifted out. You're surrendering it. You're allowing yourself to just be carried. At 18, even deeper, even more weightless, even lighter. At 17, it's all being taken away from you. At 16, you're even lighter. At 15, drifting away, floating even deeper. 15, even deeper now. At 14, 13, and 12, even deeper. At 11, at 10, drifting away, letting it all be taken from you, surrendering, allowing yourself to just float. Nine, 8, even deeper. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You are one with that element now. You are so weightless. Can't tell the difference. 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. You have entered the realm of pure peace, where you're connected with divine, with your inner self. You have arrived. And you see now that there's a train, a tunnel, an accelerator to take you to the next level, the next timeline, the highest vision, that thing that you've tucked away because you didn't want to maybe even get your hopes up. Maybe you haven't even wanted to say it out loud, or maybe you're telling it to everybody. But it's that thing that would make something just a little bit better. It would up-level you. It would be your highest timeline. This tunnel, this fast track, it's etheric, it's filled with light, it's a bullet train. And you get to decide when you want to get on it, how fast you want to go, but it's ready to fast track you. And it's so filled with light. It's bringing you pure clarity, pure vision. And it might be that things have felt a little dark, a little unclear, or maybe you haven't even thought about the next step and you're relishing the unknown. Whatever it is, you're going to enter this train and you're going to love the journey even more. And so you start to walk on. You take a seat and you press go, whizzing through pure light at the perfect right speed for you, heading you to an excitement better than anything you had even imagined. That timeline that is the highest vision for you. And it's a gentle, easy, smooth, fun, fast trip. Suddenly you have arrived and you didn't have to wonder how you were getting there or when. You were patient, full of trust, enjoying the ride. You didn't even look out the window. You were just amazed by the light because you knew you were going so fast it didn't matter. You knew you were headed there. And you get to the other side and you feel this amazing peace. Everything's clear now. You see these timelines in front of you just filled with golden light, and you know that there's no wrong choice. It's all your highest timeline. It's all within your play, within your grasp, just attracting to you. All you have to do is say yes. And so you're on the precipice of this, ready to jump, ready to take a step forward into feeling even better. Into an energy that deep rest is. Because when you have deep rest, you are ready for anything, anyone, fully energized, rejuvenated, ready to step forward, content, at peace with any and every decision, where you see it's all filled with light, it's all gold, multiple options. And so with this in store, with seeing clearly in front of you, with feeling even better and with excited about the next step, you're ready to take this back into your body, back into your time and space. You're ready to feel better, and you're ready to be patient about how and when you get there. Knowing it's yours already. You've seen it. You've been there. And so you feel in your body all of the rest, the relaxation, the letting go, and the releasing that you got from Mother Earth earlier. And you take all that's good and true for you, closing the door to the subconscious mind at 0 and going even deeper now. Taking only what's good, true for you. Everything you've left behind, you've left behind. Everything you've released. And everything you want to take back into your time and space, you take back now with you. Now coming up at 1, full of energy, clarity, peace, and deep rest and relaxation at 2, remembering the time and space you've put yourself in at 3, coming back and opening your eyes at 4 and 5 as eyes wide open, awake and alert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, awake and alert. We'll turn our cameras on for anyone who's okay with turning it on. Just any last questions, if anyone needs support, if anyone wants to just chat, or if people, you can just like nod and be like, I'm ready to have my dinner, or wherever, whatever coast you're on, ready to just go. Like Lori, if you just want to take that and move on, you are more than welcome. But if you want to come in and chat, you can.
That was so good, Carson. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I'm so glad.
It was so funny, you know, like I said, I was open to whatever you channeled, and when we got on the train, right, one of the really interesting things about being exactly where I want to be right now is trying to continue to have a future focus, to think about maybe what's coming next or whatever, even while I'm still trying to very much enjoy this space. And so as my train started to go, I was like, wait, but I don't want to skip anything. I just want to stay. And so it actually became kind of like a spiral on all the like possibilities and stuff of like what's potentially in the future. And then you were like, no choice is wrong. Everything, like any choice you make is correct. And I was like, yeah, that's the vibe. Like all of these things could be in my future, and I don't have to pick one right now or maybe ever. And so
yeah, and you can enjoy the train ride. Ooh, I just got chilled. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna make, you got to make it do whatever you wanted it to do.
And then when you talked about enjoying the train ride, like it was instantly back. I used to spend a lot of time traveling around Europe, and of course I do a lot of that by train. And I just used to love the train rides because they're just so. There's a peacefulness of travel by train in Europe that it doesn't come from like, you know, airports and TSA and all the things. And it would be just so cool to get on a train for just like the days. You didn't have any stuff with you, like you just have your purse or whatever, and you got to just sit there and enjoy the ride. And it was this beautiful like time. Like I don't have to move the train. I don't have to like pay attention when I'm driving. I don't have to know where I'm going. I just get to spend this like 2 hours like in this beautiful state of like listening to music or chilling out, and we were talking about deep rest and things like that. And I was instantly back there and feeling just the joy of knowing like, hey, I'm gonna end up in this like super cool medieval like village in 2 hours, but I don't even have to know how to get there or anything. So I've never done a journey with a train ride, and that was just so cool.
Cool. Well, maybe you gave it to me because I like drew a train, and you were like, whatever you channel. And I was like, what am I going to channel? And I was like, I see this.
I have no idea where that came from, but it was super cool.
That's so fun. I have our therapist friend who, I don't know what she calls it, but she will give her clients sometimes like an intuitive journey. And she's like, you just have to not plan it. And she lives in Europe actually, and she has done one on trains, and she'll just like open up a map and be like, okay, what's calling to me? And she'll like circle it, but like kind of know what train's going to get her there, but like not plan a hotel. And it just ends up being so magical. And you do just get to relax and be like, all right, well, nothing's wrong. And like, let yourself be brought there. Let the train take you forward and just like relax and let go. And how often we're not very good at doing that in life. And so it sounds like you're great, but like we could all probably do more of that. And so I love that as an exercise. I've never done it, but when she told me about it, I was like, that's
you gotta
awesome.
try it.
Also helps that you live in Tuscany. So it's like wherever you're going to go is going to be great. But
there is a little bit of that too, for sure. I very much miss that because I'm in Phoenix. There's no place I can even go like today and be back. That's not like thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing. I loved all of those visuals. It felt really yummy and juicy. How you doing, Kate? I see some deep breaths. You okay?
Yeah, doing really well. When you said I attuned to let your heart go where it desires to go, or something like that. And oh my gosh, Carson, I'm so excited to welcome in a grandbaby. Oof. Who and a little scared at the same time, and it's like I've been protecting my heart a bit.
Yeah.
And but I got to hang out with her energy and her
Oh,
energy. I don't know, but that's what it was, just so beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm allowing myself as this baby is growing and developing to be with, and I keep saying her, I'm not sure, um, and love, and be in that energy of love, and welcoming, and being with, and oh, so it was so beautiful for me. Thank you.
I
Really
love,
was.
I
Yeah.
love that. I do remember at one point saying, like, even if you didn't want to say it out loud, like, even if you haven't let yourself go there. And so I'm glad you're allowing that, because that it's really nice to be in that energy.
Yeah. So
That's really beautiful. Thank you
yeah.
for sharing. Cool. Jamie, you okay? You good? You don't have to share anything. I'm just making sure.
Just thank you so much,
You're
Carson.
welcome. I know you will get deep rest tonight, whatever that looks like. I'm going to trust that it is so healing for you, even if it looks a little different, but maybe it'll look exactly or even better than you thought. But I will be holding that vision for you and for everyone. For Lori, it taking less than 3 days or 2 days, or you not even noticing how long it takes because you're just trusting the train ride. But I'm also holding, a pain-free healing vision for you, Lori. Courtney shopping. Well, yeah.
No, I just said thank you.
Oh. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. Well, I think we can go early-ish. I don't know when class usually ends, but everyone, no matter what coast you're on, and whether it's dinner or straight to sleep, I hope it's a wonderful, beautiful summer, early summer, late spring evening. Whether that's rainstorms, which we've had today, which I love, thunder, or crickets and city lights, whatever it is. Like, think it's going to be beautiful for everybody. Okay, I will end the stream, and we'll see you guys in the chat. Bye.